Well, hello everybody. Welcome to my Google Classroom. I wanted to kick off with one of my favorite books to read. This is three stories about Morris and Boris. I read this when I was a kid. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I've read it to my son. He thinks it's really funny. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. This is not a particular computer technology lesson, besides just if you put a comment down below just to check in and make sure that this process is working with the Google Classroom. I will be putting out different activities, but I just wanted to kick off with a straight up book reading and share something that you might enjoy throughout these times of staying in. So here we go. Three stories about Morris and Boris. Three stories about Morris and Boris. Chapter 1, The Riddles. Boris the bear met Morris the moose. "Do you like riddles?" Boris asked. Morris asked, "How do they taste?" Boris said, "You do not eat riddles." Morris asked, "Do you drink them?" Boris said, "You do not eat riddles. You do not drink riddles. You ask them. Listen, I will ask you a riddle." Boris asked, "What has 4 feet?" Morris yelled, "Me!" "I did not finish," Boris said. "What has 4 feet and a tail?" "Me!" Morris yelled. "I still did not finish," Boris cried. "Let me finish." Morris put a hoof over his mouth. Boris said, "What has 4 feet and a tail and flies?" "Me!" Morris yelled. "I have 4 feet and a tail, and flies come and sit on me all the time." "No, no," Boris growled. "The answer is a horse in an airplane." "Here's another riddle. What kind of comb cannot comb hair?" "I know," Morris cried. "A broken comb." "No, no, no," Boris shouted. "The answer is a honeycomb." "What is a honeycomb?" Morris asked. Boris said, "It is a bee house. Don't you know anything?" Morris said, "I know about riddles. You do not eat riddles. You do not drink riddles. You ask riddles." Boris said, "And you must answer them. Try to answer this riddle. What kind of bee does not sting?" "I know," cried Morris. "A friendly bee." "No, no," Boris yelled. Morris cried, "A sleeping bee." "No, no, no," Boris shouted. "The answer is a beetle." "Oh, you don't know how to answer riddles. I'm not going to ask you anymore." Morris said, "You know how to answer riddles. Let me ask you riddles." "Go ahead," said Boris. "Ask me riddles." Morris asked, "What has 4 feet and a tail and flies?" Boris answered, "A horse in an airplane." "No, no," Morris cried. "A moose in an airplane." Boris yelled, "You mean a horse." Morris said, "I mean a moose. I want a moose to get an airplane ride." Then Morris asked, "Here's another riddle. What kind of comb cannot comb hair?" Boris said, "A honeycomb." "No, no, no," Morris cried. "The answer is a bee comb." Boris asked, "What is a bee comb?" Morris said, "The comb a bee uses. It cannot comb hair. A bee has no hair." "Now answer this riddle," said Morris. "What kind of beetle does not sting?" Boris said, "You mean what kind of bee does not sting?" Morris laughed. "I mean what kind of beetle? All bees sting." Boris shouted, "Oh, you don't know anything about riddles. I'm going home." A bird asked Morris, "What's he angry about?" "Riddles," said Morris. "He does not like them." All right, Chapter 2, The Tongue Twister. The next day, Boris met Morris again. "Can you say a tongue twister?" Boris asked. Morris said, "A tongue twister." "That's just the name of it," Boris said. "What you must say is, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Morris asked, "What's a peck?" Boris said, "A peck is a lot of something." "Go on, say it." Morris said, "A peck is a lot of something." "No, no," Boris cried. "Say the whole thing." Morris said, "The whole thing." "No, no, no," Boris shouted. "Say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Morris asked, "What are pickled peppers?" Boris said, "Come with me. These are peppers. Pickled peppers are peppers you put in a pot and pickle. To pickle means to make sour. Now say the tongue twister." Morris said, "Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers and put them in a pot and pickled them." "No," Boris cried. "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Morris asked, "How could Peter Piper pick a peck of pickled peppers? Pickled peppers are peppers you put in a pot and pickle." "I know that," Boris shouted. "But in the tongue twister, Peter Pepper," Morris said. "You mean Peter Piper?" "Yes," Boris yelled. "Peter Piper. In the tongue twister, Peter Piper pecked a pick." Morris cried, "You mean picked a peck?" "Yes, yes," Boris roared. "Picked a peck. In the tongue twister, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pots. No, I mean Peter Piper picked a pot of pickled pecks. No. Oh, you got me all mixed up. You will never learn to say a tongue twister." And Boris went away. A bird asked Morris, "Why was Boris yelling?" Morris said, "Because I could not say Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." Chapter 3. The Game. Boris the bear went to get a drink. He met Morris the moose again. "Do you know games?" Morris asked. Sorry, let me start again. Boris the bear went to get a drink. He met Morris the moose again. "Do you know games?" Boris asked. Morris asked, "Who is games?" Boris said, "Games are not a who. Games are something you play. I will show you. I will close my eyes." Morris asked, "Are you sleepy?" "No, I'm not sleepy," Boris cried. "Now listen, I will close my eyes and count to 10. Morris asked, "How can you count with your eyes closed? I have to count like this. 1, 2... "Who cares how you count?" Boris yelled. "Now listen, I will close my eyes and count to 10. You will hide." "Why should I hide?" Morris asked. "There's nothing to be afraid of." Boris growled. "Listen, you will hide." Morris said, "I will hide." Then Boris closed his eyes and counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Morris hid behind a tree. Boris counted to 10 and yelled, "Here I come, ready or not." Morris cried, "I am ready!" Boris shouted, "No! Now I know where you are. You must not say anything. Just hide and let me find you. Now let's do this again." Boris closed his eyes and counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Morris ran to hide behind a rock. When Boris counted to 10, he yelled, "Here I come, ready or not." This time Morris did not say anything. But Boris found him right away. Boris said, "Oh, that was too easy. You are no good at hiding. You count and I will hide." Morris counted. 1, 2, 3. Boris cried, No, you must close your eyes." Morris said, "I cannot count this way. I have to count like this. 1, 2. "Who cares while you count?" Boris yelled. "Just close your eyes for a while, then try to find me." Morris closed his eyes. Boris ran to hide. Then Morris yelled, "Here I come, ready or not," and he looked for Boris. Morris could not find him. Morris cried, "Boris, I cannot find you." Boris cried, "Keep looking!" Morris shouted, There you are, I found you!" Boris roared, "That's not fair! You don't know how to play this game, or you don't know how to do anything." The bird said, "He can do one thing." "What?" Boris asked. The bird said, "He can make you angry." Boris started to laugh, and Morris and the bird laughed too. So that is, once again, 3 stories about Morris and Boris. I wish there were more because I always really enjoyed those. But yeah, so hopefully I'll have other things to read to you. We'll also look in this space for other tech activities that you can do in the coming days. So thank you very much. And if you want, leave a comment underneath. Just as simple as "Hi, Mr. Post" or something, just to let me know you saw this. And take care. Bye, everybody.